unraveling and deterioration of a life, a body, a soul, a mind, and oftentimes dreams. The values you have to abandon to cope, survive, and accept this subhuman way of existing instantly alters your self-worth and future vision. Living and thriving dissipates with every day. You slip into a subconscious state of perpetual mode of just surviving. Too long and you can become the living dead. My name is Michelle Griffith. I live in Toms River. I have been homeless on several occasions. Some of these occasions, people did not know it by looking at me, and I was able to maintain hope and fortitude. However, my last homeless status began in 2012 and ended in December 2016. This broke my spirit and created a reality of fear. It began with Hurricane Sandy, being disabled, sick, hospitalized, and losing my rental home, and not being able to afford the going rates and security deposits, and not being able to meet any of the strict qualifications. For a while, I had temporary residences at various places and people. But for the most of that time, my main residence was in my car. My car was a home for my dog and me. For almost 17 years, my dog, Prince Milo, has been my only companion, family, and friend. Because of him, I could not give up as often I wanted to. Because of him, I went everywhere I could to find information and help to find security, rest, stability, and a home for us. I obtained information through the library, the opening of Section 8, low-income residence agencies. I never thought homelessness would be a part of my life, and never this long. I attended one of the best community colleges in our country. I attended one of the top 10 universities in this country. I worked in the stock market for major companies. I worked for many deans in renowned medical schools. I had a wonderful career working on Park Avenue as an executive assistant and office manager to a founder of an international company. How in the world did I end up homeless after doing all of that? Well, a series of factors faced me that I could not overcome. One was a physical disability, sickle cell anemia, a disease that caused me to be hospitalized every month for many years, and the fact that I faced my health challenges with denial until the day came in 2004 when I could no longer do so. I could no longer work no matter how I tried, applied, got hired, and could not make it through the probation period. After many years of applying for disability and being unsuccessful just because that's the policy, deterrent, make it so difficult to obtain you give up, deny you enough times that you stop applying. Therefore, I didn't have a job, I didn't have income, my health has always been the main factor in my demise. Furthermore, my great career came to an end not long after 9/11. The company I worked for downsized and very soon after went out of business. The market changed every field I was qualified for. Every interview I went on, I was told one or both of two things. I was overqualified, I could not be compensated accordingly. Depression, shame, and sickness worked their way into my daily experience. I began volunteering and working for free just to stay busy. 2, I have a lot of blood relatives but no family. No consistent support, no truly committed or connected friends, not even church, although I spent most of my spare time in giving there. Some of my greatest abuse and manipulation came from relatives because I was homeless. 3, being single in America. There's no help for single people. Legal-age children, adult, and some seniors. I have no children and wasn't on drugs, therefore there is no help. 4, I had no income or my income is inadequate. Poor credit and no address. I had a friend who was married and has a family and sat me down one day to explain to me why I was struggling. She explained, you're trying to do what it takes 2 or more to do. I pondered this daily and looked around me. The super of a building I lived he lived in a 2-bedroom with his parents, 2 brothers, and a sister. A neighbor lived with her son, daughter, and a boyfriend. Another neighbor lived with her son, his wife, and a child. And that multi-layered, multi-income in one space is what enables many to have a roof over their heads. I never had a desire to be famous. I did have a desire to do something great, good for my community, my country, the world, and God. I would do anything to help the homeless and homelessness, but never wanted to be the face of homelessness. People look at the homeless as though we're lesser. We're not lesser, we're just living with less. Homelessness is defined as living in housing that is below the minimum standard or lacks secure tenure. According to the UK Homelessness Charity Crisis, a home is not just a physical space, it also provides roots, identity, security, a sense of belonging, and a place of emotional well-being. In the United States, the government describes homelessness as enumeration studies, as also include people who sleep in public or private place not designed for use as regular sleeping accommodation for human beings. People who are homeless are most often to acquire and maintain regular, safe, secure, and adequate housing due to a lack of or an unsteady income. Homelessness and poverty are interrelated. My name is Michelle Griffith, and I am one of the many faces of homelessness. I am an advocate to eradicate homelessness. Home buying standards are completely out of reach. Rental market rates are outrageous and the requirements are disqualifying. A personal space of one's own is a foundational human need to live instead of exist, to thrive instead of just survive. Be productive, contribute to your community, your country, and the world. A secure place and a safe place, that's your own to maintain peace. Human beings were not created to live openly to the elements and not possessing solace in a personal space. Once we lived in caves, now we live in houses and apartments. You can do nothing or have nothing without an address in this country. You cannot even obtain a P.O. box without permanent residence. I was able to obtain most of my information and care through a physician, appropriate health insurance, able to keep appointments, obtain total physical health, and after homelessness, I needed to take care of my mental health. Homelessness causes mental health. 3 days after I moved into my new apartment, I have a neighbor by the name of Sue. She knocked on my door to inform me she was going to the grocery store and asked me if I needed anything. I was so not accustomed to this, I began to cry. I now have a very faithful friend, very good neighbors that look out for Prince Milo and me. I go to help other homeless people with necessities and donate, support, assist agencies that help me to obtain funding to continue to help others. Now I take care of my physical mental health. Now I am physically safe and becoming organized. I am planning my future. I take better care of Prince Milo. I can rest and sleep peacefully. The supportive services information at the public library, Hurricane Sandy website, Ocean Inc., St. Joseph Church, food pantries, the House of Hope, Ocean Mental Health are what pointed me to real assistance and actually acquiring a home and remaining in that home. Due to my medical disability, I was eligible for Medicare, but could not afford the co-pays, deductibles, monthly fees, and feared going into further debt, and my credit score being further reduced. Therefore, I wouldn't be proactive about my health. The turnaround and improvement in my physical and mental health came when I became eligible for Medicaid. I am proficient in being active in my health care holistically. In addition, Medicaid enables me to be more active in my community. A Section 8 voucher after waiting years on the Hurricane Sandy lottery list is what enabled me to find and qualify for a residence. Without it, I would still be homeless. I am beseeching our elected officials to support an increase in funding assistance for the McKinney-Vento Homeless Grant to oppose any replacement of the Affordable Care Act that eliminates or further reduces Medicaid. And most importantly, please ensure effective fair housing enforcement, and provide the necessary resources to assist jurisdictions in complying with the Fair Housing Act. Without this, homelessness is inevitable and would affect more people. Thank you.